Howdy y'all. Welcome back to Game Engine Scripting. I hope you were excited to get back into your midterm project. I hope you're excited to do some more Unity work. I hope you've been safe and healthy over the past couple of weeks. So I wanted to record a video to take a minute to walk you through what's happening now that we're starting up again on Monday and what that means for the rest of the semester. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop here. So I want to walk you through two things. I want to walk you through the course structure and how it's been revised, and I want to walk you through week 8's content to give you an idea of what's going to happen on a week-to-week basis. So one disclaimer is that all of this is new for the services that we use, like Canvas. It's new for you, it's new for the faculty. So I've done my best to set up the structure that we'll use going forward, but we may evolve and adjust as need be across the rest of the semester. So let's actually start with week 8. I'm going to scroll down here. So what's going to happen is that each week by Monday at the latest of that week, the content will be posted, and it's asynchronous. Go at your own pace. So there'll be things that are posted that have deadlines for that week that you then schedule your time to work on and meet those deadlines. There isn't going to be synchronous class time where we're meeting all together like we did at Columbia when we all came to the same classroom. So this is going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but what you should do is log into Canvas each Monday to go through the material for that week and schedule your time out for the assignments for that week. But let's zoom into week 8. So each week there will be an overview page that has my face, and it'll be here at the top of the page. This is probably where you're watching this video. There will be maybe some announcements and information, and then there will be assignments and content for that week. So let's zoom into week 8 and talk specifically. So one of the things that I want to announce for week 8 is that Unity Learn's premium plan is now free for 3 months. So if you log into learn.unity.com, you get access to their premium content, which includes things like a class on AI in Unity. And also there's a live version of Create with Code that now runs each week. So if you want to join that, you can, and just schedule it out. Hop in, ask your questions, work through the material. Neither of these are required. I'm just letting you know about them. Then in terms of assignments, there are a couple of things that you should do this week. One is we'll talk through a little bit of a high-level preview of what is in this module at the top, the Getting Started with Online, but you should go through that and read all the pages. The next one is make sure that you can access Unity and Visual Studio from your machine. Wherever you're working from home, from work, there's a page that walks through how to install Unity on your personal machine. And also, if you don't have a machine that can run Unity, you can use our virtual machines. So you can, from your browser or from this desktop app for VMware, you can log into one of the virtual machines, which you're essentially accessing the machines that you were working on in the classroom. So it has Unity, it has Visual Studio, it has GitHub Desktop, everything installed. So you can watch this video if that's the path you're going to take. The preferred option is that you get Unity and Visual Studio set up on your own machine, but not everyone is going to be able to do that. So if you don't have the ability to do either of those options, there's a form for you to submit. This is from the college. This is the central form. Submit that. That will let the IT folks know that you need something like a internet hotspot or you need a computer. And so they'll work to get that, but also email me so that I can be proactive and start hunting those things down to make sure that everyone in the class has access. So then on to the new material for this week, the Milestone 3. It's the same milestone as we had before. It's where you're showing me that you've been making progress on your midterm game. You're making sure to update your GitHub board. At this point, you should probably have the main prototype finished and you're moving on to advanced features. So go through this. The instructions are the same for how to submit it and how it's being graded. I'm giving you a little bit of an extension though, because you had most of the week to work on the Milestone 3 before the college closed, but we lost a couple of days as it was closed. So now you have until the 8th at midnight to submit that milestone without any penalty. The other piece for this week that goes along with the Milestone 3 is that we have a discussion thread. Let's walk through this. So there are two things to do for this playtesting thread. One is by the 8th at midnight, come in and post your game. And the other is after the 8th at midnight, come back and playtest 2 of your peers' games. So there's instructions on what to do for each. For posting your game, you're posting a working zip build of your game, which means this is not the full Unity project. This is you've gone file, build, and created a WebGL or desktop build that you're sharing with your peers, and a few other things that you're going to post, including your game design doc, link, screenshot. The 2 that I want to highlight are the last 2. So you should also post text to explain any context that the playtesters will need. So everyone's games are going to be at very different levels of production. Some games will have instructions in main menu and some won't. So you're going to have to give that context to someone so that they can open up your build and know what to do. So maybe that you have no instructions, you have no main menu, and you have to tell the player, like, okay, when you open up the build, you're going to have to walk around this world and you're going to have to click on things to try and pick up all the items in the world. And the other piece is that you also want to direct your playtester to what would be most valuable to you at this point in terms of feedback. So your game, you may know that you haven't put a main menu in. You don't need someone to tell you to put the main menu in. But really what you want is feedback on the mechanic and whether the mechanic makes sense. So that might be what you would specify as you're posting your game. Like, I really want feedback on the mechanic. So you're going to come down to the bottom here. You're going to hit reply. There's a way to attach files here, so you can upload your zip. And then inside of here, you can put all of that content and all of the links that go along with posting your game. So that's the first part. The second part is playtesting someone else's game. So after all the games are posted on the 8th at midnight, you're going to come back and playtest 2 of your peers' games. I put you into groups. So for instance, if Joshua logs in, he's playtesting Dwight and Max's game. If Max logs in, he's playtesting Dwight and Joshua's game. So you're playtesting in your groups. And there's more instructions on exactly what to do. So read through that. One thing that I want to highlight is be kind and supportive. We are all still learning at this point, and some folks, this will be their first game that they're making, and the games are highly in progress. They're still very much in development. So when you're giving feedback, just keep all of that in mind. So that's the playtesting discussion thread. The next one is schedule a 15-minute Zoom with me. So Zoom is a video conferencing platform that we have access to at Columbia, where we will take a look at your midterm progress wherever you are. I have 40 time slots available across Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, including the time when we normally have our class on Monday. So you can schedule for any of those. We will hop into a Zoom video or audio call. We'll do some screen sharing. We'll look at where you are, and I'll be able to give you feedback. The last one here is each week we're going to have some kind of discussion thread associated with the week so that you can share things that you found, questions that you had with your peers in the ways that you could have done in the classroom that we can't do as easily online. So this is a general place for questions, assets that you found, cool things that you found, and also for you to jump in if you see a question that you can answer. Please do that. Jump in and help so that we can all support each other as we're working on our midterm projects, our final projects, whatever we're working on for the week. So let's go back. We've talked about week 8. Let's look at the general structure of the course now. So things that you're going to need: internet access, Canvas access, Unity, Visual Studio, GitHub, Zoom for video conferencing. So if you don't have any of those, just highlight it again, this form, make sure you submit it and make sure you also email me. In terms of what's changed structurally with our class, there isn't actually a ton that has changed in the syllabus. We still have the same breakdown, same homework assignments, midterm project, final project, participation, quizzes. Scroll all the way to the bottom. This is kind of where things have changed. Is normally what we do between the midterm and final is that we have a couple weeks where we work through Create with Code and finish up the Create with Code material. But because of the abbreviated semester, we're going to finish up our midterm and jump right into our final project. So this first week back, we're doing Milestone 3 for the midterm. The next week we'll do Milestone 4, and then we just reset and we start over for the final project, which the final is either you're taking your midterm even further, or you're starting a new project and going through the milestones again for that new project. We're still going to have quizzes. We're still going to plan to have our demo days. These are just going to look a little bit different now that we're in an online context, and we'll talk about those when we get to them each week on Canvas. So there are tips for online success, for doing online tutorials. Go through those. Make sure you have your Canvas notifications turned on, since now Canvas is the main way that you're getting content, and make sure you log into Canvas each week. But one thing that I wanted to highlight in particular is how to get help, because now we're moving to this online format where you're not going to be passing by my office and you can't just like poke your head in, and you're not going to be sitting in the classroom with 20 of your peers where you can just turn around and ask them for help. So it's going to feel a little different, but there are a lot of channels available for you to get help. So each week there's going to be a discussion thread where you can post questions and get help from your peers. You can always email me or send me a Canvas message. You can sign up for virtual office hours. I'm going to have virtual office hours every week. So it's really just you hop into the schedule. So go through this page. There's a tutorial at the bottom that shows how to schedule one of those slots. And then we'll just meet in Zoom and we'll be able to screen share and look at your work. There are 2 chat platforms available to you where you can connect with faculty and your peers. One is Microsoft Teams, so there's a guide on how to connect, and then there's this IAM Knowledge Center team that you all have been added to that has a couple of channels for getting help. So pop open Discord. Oh, no, let's pop open Teams first. So this is the IAM Knowledge Center. There's a general chat, and then there's a C languages chat for coding and a game engines chat for Unity. So you probably want to post into Unity, but if you have some programming questions, you can ask them in the C languages channel. You can also, since everyone has Teams, you can message each other through Teams and ask help from someone directly. We also have the unofficial but student-run IAM Discords, and this is another chat app where you can post questions and connect with one another. And there are 2 channels. There's an IAM programming one and a general one. And you can join either of those through this link. And those Discords look like this, where you log in. There are a bunch of channels. This is the IAM one. And then the program one, similar. There's a bunch of channels for different topics. So these are great for connecting with your peers in ways that you were normally doing that in person. We're just now going to be using digital platforms for doing it. So there are a couple other resources, again, in this getting started. So go through them this week. Make sure that you're familiar with all the content. Okay, so what does all of this mean for you going forward? Some tips to leave you with. You want to make sure that 1, you set a schedule for working on game engine scripting content. Working in an online class is actually harder than you might expect. You have to be a little bit more diligent and a little bit more proactive. So setting aside time each week that you are regularly getting focused, dedicated time to work on game engine scripting is going to be really important. 2, you need to make sure that you read all of the content and assignments that are posted to Canvas very carefully. So when you're submitting something, make sure you go over those requirements 2-3 times to make sure you have all of that in whatever you're submitting. 3, make sure that you have your Canvas notifications turned on, because that is the primary way that we're going to be communicating and that you're going to be getting content over the course of the semester. 4, ask questions when you're stuck. So use any of those ways that we talked about to get in touch with me, to get in touch with your peers, to get help. That's important because you're going to have to be a little bit more proactive than you would in an in-person class, where we're normally in the same room, you're in the same room with your peers, you can just turn around and ask a question. You're going to have to actively reach out, jump into that Discord or email me or jump into the discussion to get help with whatever you're struggling with. The last thing that I'll leave you with is that I'm still here. I just, now I live in your computer screen as opposed to living in a physical office. I still care about you doing well in this class, and I'm still here for you. So reach out when you're working on things and you're struggling. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next week.